Hello everyone, from wherever you are watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Muslim fraternity, how is this Ramadan taking you? Like we requested you, we pray that you pray for the nation. Please, this disease is still here. Pray for us so it can go. And from everyone here, we wish you nice viewing, and please, wherever you are watching, be careful, be steady, such that you pick everything that we give you. We thank you very much that you chose us, and we are giving you exactly what you expect from us. Before we start today's lesson, allow me to give you a few words that you have to spell. 1, surprise. Surprise. The next one is likely. Likely. The next one, probability. 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 That's the next one. The next one, possible. Possible. And lastly, likelihood. Likelihood. So those are the words. We shall come to see whether you wrote the right words afterwards. After sometimes we shall be coming back to you to see whether you'll have written the right words. Let's try to see what you have written. The first one, the first word that I gave you was surprise. Surprise looks to be a very simple word, but it's one of the most challenging spellings. It is S-U-R-P-R-I-S-E. Surprise. It has 2 R's. It has the R after U, and then it has this R. What we normally do, we write surprise. Another one that we talked about here is likely. Likely. Likely is this. The third one that we talked about was probability. 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 Sorry. Probability. Then from there, we saw possible. And lastly, we shall have to look at the word. The last word that we saw was likelihood. These are the words that we started with. If you got all of them, please give yourself excellent. And if you got 4 of them, that's good. If you got below that, then you are not good at spelling. So just carry on. Just work on your spelling. We have quite a number of your queries from the last work that we gave you. We sent in work, and so many sent in their work. We advise you to send in your work. All the time your work will be seen. And before I forget, from where we started showing you these lessons, now, from tomorrow, you'll have to go to YouTube and type in NTV Learn at Home. Then you'll be able to see all those lessons that we have taught. NTV Learn at Home. The work will be there from where we started teaching you to where we are now. And we shall make sure it is very ready for you. By tomorrow, make sure, or by the next day, make sure you go there and see that work. It is there. Let's look at some of your queries that you sent in. One was Harrison David. Thank you very much. This was Joy Primary School, was from Joy Primary School. Harrison is in P5, but managed to get most of the answers, most of the questions correct, except one where he wrote only the title, chairman. The question was asking to whom, the question was asking, according to the letter, in which, according to the letter, why did the writer miss the assembly? Then according to the writer missed the assembly because he was doing the teacher's work. Okay? That one is where he just wrote a single answer, but most of the answers were okay. We have Bikalamunda Andrew. Bikalamunda Andrew wrote Ometa Andrew for the question which was asking, who wrote the letter? Andrew wrote Ometa Andrew. The name that we gave you is Omita. Never tamper with the spelling of the name when it comes to this section of comprehension. Once you change the spelling of the name, it means you have gone out of the answer. So never tamper with the name. Secondly, never even tamper with the name order. If it is Kanwaji Baker, don't say Baker Kanwaji. That will be a different person in the comprehension. The next one is Alio Prince, Makindye Junior, Luwafu. You sent in your work. Most of the work was okay. And then we have Oloni Daniel of Seta Junior Mukono. You just typed the work, but we encourage you to always use your hands to write that work. We need that handwriting. We need to see whether you need to be guided about the way you write. We need to see how you write so we can advise you. And we need to see that you put in some effort. So just don't type, write using your free hand, take images and send. Others, Nasozi, Priska, Mother Majeri, Msmenta, Emily, Kemgisha, Uthman, Mixed Primary School, Masindi. This one is also in P5. All sent in their work. Eddie Gantungamo, all sent in their work. And lastly, we have this Chris, who sent in the work but did not put the school name. Now, from all the work that you sent, I saw two major questions that challenged you. That was number 3, which was saying according. It was according to the letter. Why did the writer miss the assembly? According. According to the letter, why did the writer miss the assembly? That was the question. And I told you that wherever you are dealing with questions involving why and according to, I told you is what we call the prepositional phrase. And the prepositional phrase here, we are saying that the prepositional phrase coming to in a question must start. And then when the question is involving why, the why question must be accompanied by 1, in order to, so as to, or because sometimes, like in this case, we shall need because. According to the letter, why did the writer miss the assembly? The answer had to start from, according to the letter, the writer missed the assembly because, you cannot say in order to, no. But now here, because he was doing the teacher's work. He was completing the teacher's work. Comprehension is just knowing what to, reading and then interpret. The answering may differ, but then the message is what we need most here. And then, why do we say that this prepositional phrase must start? If you don't start with the prepositional phrase, you risk making your sentence ambiguous. Ambiguous. Ambiguous, the word ambiguous means that something can be understood in very many ways. If you say something is ambiguous, it means we can understand, we can interpret it in various ways. That's why we are saying we start with the prepositional phrase. Let me give you an example. If I say, let's study these two sentences. She walked her dog in a mini skirt. Where is the ambiguity? This is now the misinterpretation. This is where the misinterpretation comes in. When we say she walked her dog in a mini skirt, someone may say that the one who walked the dog was wearing a mini skirt. That's one interpretation. Secondly, we may say that the dog which she walked was the one wearing a mini skirt. You see? Two different versions now. That's why we are saying that every time we have a prepositional phrase, in this case, in a mini skirt, because a prepositional phrase must start with a preposition. It does the work of an adjective, which means it does the work of defining. And when we are putting it, we put it near what it is defining. That's why we bring it at the beginning. In a mini skirt, it is now going to define this person. In a mini skirt, instead of she walked her dog in a mini skirt, we can say in a mini skirt, she walked her dog. In a mini skirt, she walked her dog. Or in a mini skirt, or while she was wearing a mini skirt, she walked her dog. That way we shall have done away with the ambiguity. Secondly, I heard about the meeting in the staff room. I heard about the meeting in the staff room. I heard about the meeting in the staff room. This also has diverging interpretation. Where did you hear about the meeting? And then where the meeting was taken from. For example, one may say, I heard about the meeting in the staff room. Interpretation being that this was in the staff room when he heard about the meeting. Or it was the meeting which was in the what? In the staff room. And so on and so forth. The last one I want to give you is people thanked him. For the speech, or we may leave it out. people thanked him at the end of the meeting. It means they thanked him after the meeting, or it may also mean that they thanked, the speech came at the end of the what? The meeting. So to avoid all of this ambiguity, every time you see the preposition phrase, make sure you put it at the beginning. It comes to tell when, it comes to tell where, it also comes to tell what kind. It tells when something was done. That's a prepositional phrase now. On Friday, we went to school on Friday. And then where? At the main hall. What kind? The bald-headed man. So all of that must come at the beginning. On Friday, we went to school. The bald-headed man did this, and so on, so forth. So every time you see a question concerning prepositional phrase, I advise you to always put it at the beginning. But the rest of the questions were done well, and we really appreciate whatever you do. Before we go to that, let's go to some situation. When this year was opening up, or when this year was starting, over the social media and everywhere, we saw New Year's wishes everywhere. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Have a very wonderful 2020. Then the journalists also went ahead to spice it a little. Instead of 2020, they called it 2020. And so on they went. Until it has turned out to be what you see now. But why were they sending all those messages? One, they had a wish that the year will be very well. They had a wish that it is possible that the year may come with all goodies. Again, they thought they had a probability that the year will be wonderful. Just like you at home, you pay school fees for your child. Very much aware that you are supporting a lawyer. Only at the end, he turns out to be a boda cyclist. He turns out to be a serial thief. But no one goes, he turns out to be, or she turns out to be a maid. But no one goes, no family goes for the fees or pays for fees to bring out a maid. No, just turns out. So, but why do we pay fees? We pay that fees because we have that feeling, inner feeling that we want a lawyer. To you, you are saying it is possible, even when it may not be what? Possible. And this is what mathematics people call probability. This is what we are going to borrow from this mathematics group today. Today we are going to express probability. Even in English, we have ways we express probability. Every time we express probability here, we are talking about something being possible. That's why I gave you possible, the first word. What first words I gave you. Probability in English is mostly expressed using this term, likely. Likely to. And this is what we are going to look at today. Likely. Probability. Every time we say that something is likely to happen, one, it means there is a chance it is going to happen. Two, we say it may happen, or there is a might that it may happen. That's why we say it might happen, or it may happen. or it is probable or probable that something will do what? Will happen. When something is likely to happen, it is showing us that there is a probability it is going to happen. There is a probability it is going to happen. This word probability comes from probable. Something where you have too much, like I've told you, your parents pay school fees with too much expectation in you. It only turns out to be negative or positive, some of them. And now, every time we are expressing probability here, we use these terms. They are very, 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 very common. And then we say there is a likelihood. There is a likelihood that something is going to do what? To happen. And that's why we use likelihood, chance, might, may, and so on and so forth. Here, we are expressing what we call probability. Probability, we are talking about something we are sure may happen, even when it may not happen. We expected this year to be good. It is now turning out to be the opposite. Everyone is seeing it. You expect me to be a lawyer as you're paying my school fees. Eventually, I become a teacher. To you, it may be anything. So likely, as a structure, is used with so many things, as we shall see. Whenever we are using probability here, we use this likely. In most cases, as we give you this work, we always tell you to use likely. Very, 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 on rare occasions, we tell you to use it with likely to. We don't just put that to. We know you know it. Every time we are using likely, it must be followed by a to. Even when in the questioning, we don't put it there. So just say, use likely. And like I've told you, that this word likely is used with may or might. These are the commonest questioning words. But even these ones I gave you here, like chance, possible, might, probability, and so on, are also common. But these are the most common. So, it is used with helping verbs as you see them. One, we have the helping verbs are here. We have is, we have are, we have am. But before the helping verbs, I've put these ones. These are subjects. A subject, I explained last time what a subject is. I'm not going back into that. These are subjects. Likely to is used with either plural subjects or singular subjects. When it is used with the singular subjects, he, she, it, the man, the president, we use a helping verb which is singular, and this is. We don't use likely with was, because was is past, and this one is expressing a future, a likely happening. So we come to likely to, this is the same. And when we use plural like we, or they, or you, that means that this one will use are. We are likely to cook food. The girls are likely to play netball, and so on. Here you can form as many sentences as possible during your free time. Now here we have the man is likely to come late. You can't say the president is likely to extend the lockdown. Likely, we have too much hope. That is what you're saying. That when you go to watch him, there is a likelihood that he might extend the lockdown, just like he did. And then we say they are likely to cook food and so on. But when you use I, you use it with am. I explained to you that the I and am should be a little distant because you don't have to join them. They are not the same. We are likely to harvest I'm likely to harvest my maize, or I'm likely to write to my dear aunt, and so on you can go. So this is expressing what we call the likelihoodness. But when it comes to this it, we can also use this it in a different way. It alone here, we can use it is likely that, it is likely that, it is likely that, this likely that is also allowed to use. Instead of saying it is likely to rain, you can say it is likely that it will rain. It is likely that it will rain. It is likely that he will come. And so on and so forth. You can use that, okay? And when you are using likely, please, I've told you, be cautious with the subject. Is the subject singular or plural? If it is plural, please use are. If it is singular, you use is. If it is I, you use am. Let me give you some 2 examples here, and then we go to some other thing. He may come tomorrow. He may come tomorrow. He may come tomorrow. This is the may. And now we are telling you to use likely. I've told you on many occasions you will see this word likely alone, without to. He may come tomorrow. Use likely. Use likely. Now let me hear from you, from what I've just explained. Use likely. Now girls, tell me the answer. Wherever you are and you're a girl, tell me the answer. Thank you very much. They are saying that he is likely. He is likely to come tomorrow. Watch the following. 1. When you use may, likely goes out. When you use likely, the may must go out. At no occasion must a candidate use he may likely. That's very wrong grammatically. Or he might likely. That's also very wrong. I'm going to explain to you why sometimes we use may and sometimes we use might in the next segment. Then lastly, I want to show you this plural. They might go with their dad. They might go with their dad. Here I used may, here I've used might. Why? I will explain to you. They might go with their dad. What's the answer now, boys? Wherever you are and you're a boy. Boys are saying, thank you very much. Boys are saying, they are likely to go with their dad. They are likely to go with their dad. They are likely to go with their dad. Why am I saying that there is a difference between may and might? This may look similar, but not so much. When I use may, it means I'm sure I'm going to do that very thing. The chances are too high. If I say, I may see you, I may see you, it means there's around 90% and above chances of seeing you. But if I say, I might see you, If I say, I might see you, it means I may see you or I may not. It means I have a benefit of doubt whether to come or not to come. So whoever uses these two words, the may and the might, be cautious and be very careful. When you are sure you're going to see someone, we use the may. May is so emphatic. And then we come to might, that is so probable. You may not see them, you may see them. Just like we say, I will see you, and then I may see you. I may see you. I will see you, or I shall see you. I will is a promise and is emphatic. This means this is very possible. And then I shall has some possibility, but it also means I may not. So let's go back to our may and might. You can give as many as you want. I may see you, I might see you. Or if I say, the president may extend the lockdown, it means I'm very sure he is going to do it. Okay? Or I have too much hopes that he is going to do it. But if I say the president might extend, it means I have too much hope that even he may lift it. That's what we went to. Those who went to watch his speech, that's what we went thinking, that he's lifting it now. Only to find that it is not lifted. So those who used may were on the right track. Like we have always advised you, please don't trust your hands. Every time you want to use the hands, please either sanitize them and make sure you do it well. If you don't have this, please make sure you use medicated soap to wash your hands until you are sure they are clean. Maybe one thing I have to remind you is that the number you saw on your screen is just there for you to send in work. Send your work on that very number. Don't call. Avoid calling as much as possible. Please just send a video call or send a video message. You can also send just real SMS. We shall get your message, but make sure you don't call. And again, the other thing is NTV and Kampala parents have seen it wise that we need to give you this work so you can pick whatever you missed. In case you missed the first episodes, we are going to put them there. All you have to do is type in this link, NTV Learn at Home, and then you'll be getting everything as we taught them. So make sure you go back. Those who miss some activity, go back there, and the work will be there. Let's come back to our structure, the likely that we have seen today. Likely, I've given you some examples to use, and I'm sure you're going to use them in the activity I'm yet to give you. But now, this likely is positive. It has the negative bit of it. I didn't want to give you the details of the negative bit of it because it's not provided for, but you need to know something about it. The negative part of it is if something is likely, is not likely, it means it is unlikely or it is not likely. So the opposite of likely is unlikely. In other words, if you see a negative sentence like the president may not address the nation, use likely. In this case, the likely we shall use is negative. Why negative? Because the may has also been brought in a negative format. Therefore, the president may not address the nation. It means the president being singular. Who can give me the answer? Yes, Varelia, give me the answer. I know you are watching in your sitting room with your dad, Mr. Tiaba Andrew from Masaka. She's saying, the president, thank you very much, the president is not likely to address the nation. President is not likely to address the nation. Or the president is unlikely to. Instead of not likely, we can use unlikely. Not likely we can also use unlikely. This is the negative bit of it. So anything, any question of this probability that comes in negative form, please use either not likely or unlikely. Don't say the president is likely to, you'll be giving the opposite of what has been given to you. I hope we are together now. I'm going to give you some activity so you can try it out, and we shall mark you when you send in your work. Remember the number I've told you that runs on your screen is just there for you to send in. Don't call it. Just don't call through that contact. Please just send in work. Send in work, and we shall see that work. We are going to look at this work, and you are going to do this work. Take your time. This little time I'm going to take reading through. Make sure that you copy everything, and very well as I've done here. Question, the instruction is saying rewrite the sentences using likely. As you're writing yours, the word is rewrite. There is no hyphen in that word. Don't write this. I know some of you, I used it to this. The rewrite does not have that. Rewrite, rearrange. We only put a hyphen when it is an E that comes next, like re-echo, like re-elections. When the next letter is an E, that's why we bring the hyphen. But if the next letter is not a vowel, it's not an E, you just have to say rewrite. Rewrite means write again, do again, redo. Are you getting it? Write these sentences again, and then question number 1. We may meet Andrew today. We may meet Andrew today. That's 1. Question 2. The president may address the nation on Friday. The president may address the nation on Friday. 3. It is possible that my grandfather does not have a smartphone. Mind these two words, grandfather and smartphone. They are written as one. And then the police may arrest the suspects. The police may arrest the suspects. Number 5, I may attend my friend's birthday party. Please hurry up. I may attend my friend's birthday party. And the last one that you're going to do is the president may not lift the lockdown. The president may not lift the lockdown. Thank you very much for you have been a wonderful class. I know you're going to pass everything. I'm looking forward to receiving your work. Don't forget to send your work on that very number you see on the screen. And when you get time, please go to YouTube and type NTV Learn at Home. You'll be able to access all our lessons that we gave you before, so you can learn again, because here we learn, we relearn, and we unlearn. When you are learning something, for the first time you are learning it. When we are doing a relearn, it means maybe you got something different and now you're getting the right one. And then that way, when you unlearn something, it means there is that the unlearning you forgot something, and now you are now doing out with what was taught to you, so you can learn a right one. And then the other things I've talked about, make sure you respect the mechanics of writing, make sure you hand in the work. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
To participate, send a short WhatsApp video of yourself asking the teacher a question about the topic to 0705 031 609.